What's up, everybody? It's Derek Anderson, the DA, back with another box office breakdown. This is the scoreboard for the film industry. All right, so we knew it was coming. The Batman reboot was going to be a hit. I said it was going to be huge. I expected it to be even bigger than it was. And it still turned in some pretty good numbers, but let's go ahead and jump into that right away. By the way, since you're here, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below if you do like the box office. I do it every Sunday, and you can catch all of the other things that I do, like movie reviews, commentaries on film industry and Hollywood, and so on. All right, let's get to this. The Batman reboot to become one of the biggest pandemic hits. 2022 is off to a slow start, with Spider-Man's No Way Home long-running success being the year's biggest story and overshadowing any grosses of new releases. No kidding. Despite some solid hits, most notably Uncharted, there hasn't been a single film or weekend to get past the $100 million mark. So yeah, that's true. Nothing really got big until this film, and this film crushed it. It did, and we expected it to, because again, Batman, one of the biggest franchises in the world. Yeah, it did the numbers that most people expected. Now, I thought it was going to be bigger. I thought it was going to do like $200 million. I was wrong. And I'm admitting that. But I also think that I believe the pandemic restrictions coming down, people would be more anxious to get out of the house. Maybe they were kind of waiting to see if this was going to be a good movie first before they jumped out and went and watched a 3-hour movie. I definitely think the 3-hour movie, 3-hour runtime, I should say, had a lot to do with it. Now, with that being said, what's the word of mouth like, right? Because if this movie is going to have legs, and I did state that, we've seen big Batman movies in the past, do great numbers opening weekend and then just completely fall apart the second weekend. So this movie needed to do big on the word of mouth front. So we have a couple of things to look at. The first one is Rotten Tomatoes. So Rotten Tomatoes audience score, not the critic score. The critic score is the critics. The audience is the general public, and they give you 90%. Okay, 90% is a very good score for pretty much any movie. If you can get in the 90s to anywhere above that, you're doing great. Anything below 90, people might go, well, yeah, people might start questioning it. So yeah, I think the audience score was great. And if you click here, you can see, yeah, 90% for verified and all audience. It's 90% across the board. Critics gave it 85%, 363 reviews. I think some more reviews are probably still coming in. It's probably going to get above 400 before it's all said and done. And then top critics, 77%. Again, certified fresh from the top critics who could ask for anything more. Okay, but then the second kind of criteria on how the audience felt is the cinema score. So the cinema score is like what fans felt, or what the audience felt as they were walking out of the theater, right? Like, soon as they walk out of the theater, hey, what did you think of the movie? And then they do their score. So it says here the Batman cinema score puts it on par with other DC favorites. And yeah, you can see it here. It kind of breaks down all the different films. It got an A-. So an A- cinema score is decent. It's not the best score. Obviously, it could be higher than that, but it's decent. So just to kind of give you an idea, the original Batman got an A, Batman Returns got a B, Batman Forever got an A-, so it's right there, and it has, as far as how the audience felt with Batman Forever. Let's see, it's also with the Lego Batman, the Lego Batman movie, Aquaman, it's right in there with that. People liked it better than the Suicide Squad for the most part. Both of those got a B+. So yeah, and then Wonder Woman 84 got a B+. Justice League got a B+. So you can kind of get the idea of how people feel about it. Not the top of the notch, but also not down, in a negative space. So I think that with that kind of word of mouth, and the fact that nothing's coming out next weekend, like next weekend is going to be a ghost town. Like, yeah, let me show you once again. If we go to next weekend, all right, so this is next weekend, March 11. A bunch of limited releases, nothing major. There's no big shows or no big movies coming out. It's pretty much just small, limited, probably niche audiences. Like, okay, we think this movie will do well over here in these kind of theaters or over here, and that's kind of what's happening next weekend. So Batman's going to get another run. Everybody got out of the way and they let this monster do its thing. And then following that, I think March 18, it'll still do well, but you do have a couple of wide release horror films, and I think that will attract the horror crowd, but not necessarily the folks that are just a general audience that are just coming to see a Batman movie. So, I think the Batman's going to do pretty well. Let's kind of jump into the rest of the numbers and see what we got. All right, so this is the top 10 for the weekend that just passed, March 4 through 6. You can see Batman. This is all domestic numbers, by the way. Batman at 128.5 million, Uncharted 11 million. You see the big gap there. Everybody went to see Batman. Dog got 6 million. Thought that's pretty impressive to me. Spider-Man No Way Home with 4.4. Death on the Nile 2.7. And then the rest of the bottom 5 of the top 10, you have Sing 2, Jackass Forever still cracked $1 million. Cyrano, Marry Me, and Scream all did below 1 million each. All right, so the next up, this is the week over week drops. Batman obviously is not in this because it just came out, so this is the rest of that. In the top 5, you had Uncharted with 11 million, so it dropped 52% from the previous weekend. Dog 6 million, dropped 41%. Spider-Man No Way Home dropped 24%. Death on the Nile 39%. Sing dropped 32%. Yeah, and I think that the top 2 numbers here, Uncharted and Dog, dropping only 52 and 41% a piece, is great news for them, because that means that the likelihood of them breaking even is pretty strong. Let's go ahead to the break even numbers. So here's the make it or break it. All right, Batman made almost half of its break even number in the first weekend, 248.5 million worldwide. Huge. So I think by the end of next weekend, it'll either eclipse it, depends on how it does Monday through Thursday. But I think by the end of next weekend, it could almost be right there on that $500 million mark. And then I think beyond that, everything else is just gravy for this film. It's already gotten a couple of spinoffs already. It's got the Arkham Asylum spinoff that's coming. It's got the Penguin HBO Max series that's coming. So it's doing well. It's generating spinoffs. So yeah, I think it's already considered a success for the most part. Uncharted right now sitting at 271 million. So it's only 29 million away from this break-even number. I think it will get it. Again, probably not this next weekend, but the weekend after that, I definitely think that Uncharted is going to hit that number. Dog, 45 million. It's only 10 million away. And yes, again, I think that that's going to hit its number. I think it will definitely hit it or get close. Either way, I think it's a success for this movie. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it looks like a cute little film. I'm not sure how many people are going to go see it. I actually didn't go see it. And, seeing how well it's doing, it kind of makes me interested to, if there's nothing else to do one day, I might go check it out. Death on the Nile, we've already talked about that one. It's likely not going to hit its 225 million. I mean, it cost $90 million to make, and it's scratching right now around 105 worldwide. But they actually greenlit a third film, so go figure. Who knows? And then finally, Marry Me. I think this is a good number for Marry Me, even though it's probably not going to hit that 71 million. It's not going to break even. But I think considering when it came out and all the stuff that happened with the pandemic, this is like a date movie and you want to take your girl to it or your guy to it. And it just never materialized because, unfortunately, pandemic. But 47 million, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, so that'll do it for the box office breakdown. Did you see any movies? Did you see Batman? What did you think about that? I have reviews up on the website. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to next weekend. I think it's going to be another huge weekend for the Batman, especially with the audiences coming out, the general audience kind of saying, hey, this is a great film. Good word of mouth is going to do wonders for this film. And then most of the reviews I've also seen on, YouTube and in other places are pretty much positive. So I think it's going to be a good thing for Batman. Might cross that $500 million in this coming week. But that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.